I went abroad to study with Miss Hopper. I washed clothes, cooked, and cleaned the house for her. She told her friends that I was her male Filipino helper. I stole all her money and ran away. I heard she went crazy, turning the heavens and earth upside down to find me. After we met again, she specially made a cage of golden velvet for me. She gently stroked my calf and said, "If you run again, you'll lose your leg." I entered the Hopper family home at the age of 10. Considered the lesser servant of the young lady. My grandmother had served Hopper's grandmother all her life. Allowing me to be Hopper's half-companion was considered a favor to my family. I followed Hopper from the aristocratic primary school, through middle school, and high school. Then, I went abroad to study with her. I started receiving a salary from a very young age. Hopper's grandmother gave me the money. She told me I had to report everything, whether Hopper did anything at school or not. Previously, I lived with my parents in a small town. After they passed away in a car accident, I came to New York City. My grandmother told me that if I didn't obey, she would send me back to live alone. I always kept in mind that I must obey. Hopper when she was young was not bad. She was like an exquisite doll in a glass cabinet, receiving the top-tier elite education. Surrounding her were countless nannies, tutors, coaches, and me, following to serve her. Everyone was afraid she would be uncomfortable anywhere. But after entering middle school, she started becoming ostentatious. Therefore, I told Hopper's grandmother everything about the love letters Hopper received, the fights, the drinking, the smoking, and the seducing of male students at school. Hopper hated me for a very long time. During that time, she no longer fooled around at school. After school, she would just stand coldly in the hallway, accepting the unwavering admiration of the male students. After school, I followed her into the car. She would drag me to some dark corner of the school, or pull my hair, sneer, lean down to my ear and ask if I secretly loved her. So I deliberately chased away all her potential suitors, to have her all to myself. Finally, she would add a scornful sentence. "I would never like a clingy, skinny beggar like you. I just had intimate contact with you. Do you want to go tell my grandmother?" After a few times like that, I was very afraid, so I often made excuses about having to do cleanup duty, stomach ache, or being held back by the teacher. In short, I avoided taking her car home. In high school, thanks to her connections, I was admitted to the best class of the international school, but I struggled with my studies. Furthermore, all of them were aiming to study abroad. I did not want to go overseas. I wanted to stay in the country to keep my grandmother company. So, I sought out Hopper's grandmother, saying that I wanted to go to a regular school, participate in the university entrance exam to finish high school. Hopper's grandmother agreed. In high school, I also lived in a boarding school, completely free from having to live in the Hopper family home. Very happy and free. Moreover, I made good friends. Before, when following Hopper, her halo was too dazzling. Those around her were all second-generation rich kids. No one bothered to look at me. No one wanted to be friends with me either. While I was studying very smoothly in high school, things kept happening on Hopper's side. She went from fighting with people to street racing. She crashed her car several times. She also came home very late, running off to bars or internet cafes to hang out. Once during a break, I returned to the Hopper family home. She even brought back an effeminate man. Hopper was beaten by her father with a bamboo cane. Violently beaten for half an hour. Her buttocks were badly bruised. She had to lie face down on the bed to recover. Oppenheimer loved her granddaughter very much. The descendants of the Oppenheimer family were few. Oppenheimer only had one son, who was Hopper's father. And he only had one daughter, which was Hopper. Oppenheimer told me to take care of Hopper, bring her meals, and advise her to read. At that time, in front of Hopper, I was like a mute. Anyway, I wouldn't talk. She didn't like me, and I didn't like her. I placed the meal in front of her, watched the clock. 3 minutes passed. If she didn't eat, I would eat it all myself, or go to the bathroom, and then bring the empty bowl out. Considered the task complete. This was a trick I figured out after she bullied me in middle school. Once she pulled the drawstring of my pants. The elastic band snapped back onto my stomach, which hurt a lot. Every time she dragged me to secluded corners on the school campus, blocking me and not letting me leave. She grabbed my wrist, seemingly not using much strength, but I couldn't break free. It almost became my nightmare. She was like teasing a mouse, watching me struggle in despair. I said I was wrong. I shouldn't have reported her to Oppenheimer. I also took out the bank card from my backpack, saying that I would pay her back the money, asking her not to bully me again in the future. That was the first time I cried so miserably after my parents passed away. I was really afraid that Hopper would torment me forever. I didn't have many friends at that time. I couldn't tell my grandmother. She and I were both dependent on the family. Telling her would only increase her worries. I also knew what school bullying was. I knew even more that if Hopper hated me more, she only needed to wave her hand. I would become the scapegoat for everyone. That time, Hopper casually put the bank card into my pants. She also pulled my collar to look at me, contemptuously clicked her tongue. "You beggar, don't mind my business in the future." After that, no matter what she did at school, I told Oppenheimer that there was nothing special. Sometimes Hopper woke up late, missing breakfast. Her mother and grandmother cared about her, told me to bring breakfast to her. When I brought breakfast to school during her morning class, I covered my face with a book, then secretly ate all her breakfast. When I was in school, I had a very large appetite, eating very heartily. Anyway, no one asked her if she ate breakfast or not. She wouldn't come and ask me either. This beggar, whether she ate breakfast or not, we spent middle school in this half-hearted way. Therefore, when she was beaten, lying on the bed recovering, whether she was hungry or not, it had nothing to do with me. Occasionally she did eat. The things she didn't eat, if I thought I could eat them, I ate them. The things I didn't want to eat, I dumped them. That day, she threw another young lady tantrum, holding her phone, playing a game with someone, cursing while playing. Seeing me walk in, she turned her head away. I deliberately placed the bird's nest stewed by her mother where she couldn't reach it. Sure enough, she refused to move herself. She also didn't open her mouth to ask me to put it closer. 3 minutes passed. I carried the bird's nest and sat on the balcony of her room, while enjoying the view of the estate in Beverly Hills, while using my phone in the chat group with my good friends at school, cursing about her bizarre behavior, while drinking the bird's nest stewed by her mother. Tens of thousands of yuan a bowl. I wished I could lick the bowl clean. The young lady's butt is broken, but her young lady disease is still very severe. Her face is sullen all day long, like she's constipated. I'm so happy to see her beaten. Ha ha ha, it feels like karma. My friends comforted me, saying, "Don't stay in such a suffocating environment anymore. Hurry back to school." In the group, there was a girl named Curie. She messaged me privately, said many words of encouragement to me, telling me to study hard, pass the entrance exam to a good university later, find a good job and I can support myself. I won't have to look at other people's faces like this. She said the current dark period was the light before dawn. Curie had very good grades. She was a candidate for top universities. She was in the best class. I was admitted to the class thanks to the Oppenheimer family's connections. My academic performance couldn't keep up. She and my deskmate helped me the most. Curie is the type of student with great ideals. Her parents and grandparents are all doctors. Therefore, her ideal is also to become a doctor. I admired her very much. Not just because she was good at studying, but also because she was steadfast and knew what kind of life she wanted. As for me, I didn't know what I wanted or what I liked. Before, I saw a doctor as the male lead in an idol drama. I also wanted to be a doctor. Hopper nearby asked, "Did you commit murder? Don't beg my family to help you get out of jail." I wanted to be an elite in the investment world. She replied, "Those are workhorses who labor day and night. Everyone also enjoys promiscuous relationships. It must suit you perfectly." I wanted to be a teacher. She retorted, "This spineless guy, students might pee on your head later. I look forward to it." There were 6 people in the group. They started talking about homework, the new movie, and delicious hot pot again. Curie was still comforting me on WeChat, saying that she was also bullied by others in middle school. Her whole person was very gloomy. Now she was completely fine. I felt a little touched. She exposed her own wound, so that I could cheer up and regain my spirit. Just as I was about to reply to her, a fair, slender hand appeared in front of me, snatching my phone. It was Hopper. She flipped through my phone. An exquisite face broke into a cold smile. Her eyes were full of coldness and cruelty. She placed her hand on my shoulder, asking, Is this Curie, the girl who patted your shoulder at the gate of your shabby school that day? She looks decent, suitable for a beggar like you. Then, she used my phone to send a voice message. Her voice was very gentle. I love him. I am his girlfriend. Wait until I'm tired of playing with him. Then you can come and pick up the trash. Then she blocked and deleted the person's account. I wanted to snatch my phone back. She held one hand out, looked at me, smiling until her eyes curved. Young lady, even if your butt is broken, you still have the young lady disease. Then my phone was thrown down, falling and shattering into pieces. Hopper told her grandmother, I still need to keep an eye on him. Otherwise, he always loses control of himself. Her mother and grandmother also needed eyes and ears. They said they could let me study abroad later, and give me 20,000 RMB every month to help monitor Hopper. Having money means not being a fool. Self-respect is not worth a cent. She didn't even let me go back to school to say goodbye to my classmates. She just stared at me like a criminal. Moreover, she had to mock me every time. She always said, Sagan, you deserve to be poor. A pauper like you, not focusing on studying properly all day, only thinking about dating. You should find a pauper, and then give birth to a bunch of pauper children. If I'm happy, I might even allow your children to also work as servants here for me. Sagan, are you mute? Is your self-respect hurt? Am I not telling the truth? Hey, which boy at this age has dated early? Are you lacking affection? Can't you live without women? Gloomy face all day. Who are you putting on a show for? Scowling at your foster parents, but smiling brightly at your lover, right? When Hopper ridiculed me, I couldn't have any reaction. Once I talked back, saying, mind your own business. She immediately went ballistic, didn't let me do my homework, insisted on dragging me, to clarify whether it was related to her or not, and even wanted to go find my grandmother for a discussion. I saw she was sick. In the end, I could only lower my voice and apologize to her, saying that I failed to see the gem, failed to be grateful for the young lady's concern in time. I was wrong. When we were in our final year of high school, we were applying for college admission. Hopper had received her acceptance letter, but her school was too good. I couldn't apply there. Moreover, I didn't want to be in the same city as her at all. But ever since she chose her school, the teachers in her famous tutoring team who chose schools for me were all nearby. Her family actually didn't want us to go too far away, but running errands for them in the same city was necessary. Therefore, I finally applied to a university in Stanford. After receiving the letter of acceptance, the Hopper family transferred a few $1,000,000 for my tuition again. I smiled at Hopper, although she bullied me every day. But without the Hopper family, I couldn't have studied abroad. I also couldn't have received the guidance of so many teachers. Hopper flew south, to her aunt's house to rest for a few days. After that, I bought a phone myself. Received a call from my deskmate. They were still struggling to prepare for the university entrance exam. I took advantage of the weekend to go to school to see them. After a long time apart, they listened to me tell the bizarre stories of Hopper, and cursed with me. I listened to them talk about their changes and future plans over the past 2 years. We ate barbecue on the sidewalk, drank juice, laughing and talking happily. When I looked up, I saw Hopper standing with her arms crossed, looking at me coldly. She walked over, cold and noble, saying, Sagan, are you coming or not? I looked at the newly arrived cup of juice in front of me. I didn't want to lose face in front of my friends like that. So I said, you go first. I'll go back by myself. My juice is not finished yet. She picked up the cup of juice in front of me. With a smack, she threw it onto the ground by the roadside. Then she asked me, are you coming? Before I could say anything, she firmly grabbed my wrist, pulling me away. After that, Curie and 2 other girls believed she was bullying me, tried to stop her. Hopper swung her fist, starting to fight with them. I was horrified. I even suspected if Hopper had rabies. She practiced boxing. Her father was afraid she would be bullied by others. Curie was immediately knocked to the ground. I rushed up, hugging Hopper tightly, not letting her continue to hit people. This incident was like Hopper hitting people before. There were no ripples at all. I heard Hopper's father scolding Hopper in the study. Are you a pighead? If you don't like someone, why do you have to do it yourself? Why hire people? Her father didn't feel that her striking people was wrong. He only said that Hopper shouldn't do it herself, because there were people who worked for their family. There were also other ways. To make the person she disliked die silently. Maybe they wouldn't even know she was the mastermind. My heart turned cold. After she came out of the study, I hurriedly followed. She still maintained a cold expression. Before entering the room, she glanced at me, a meaningful look, but I didn't understand the meaning of it then. I only worriedly followed her into the room, wanting to beg her not to be angry anymore, and not to harm those girls. Outside her bedroom was a sitting room. She leaned back on the sofa, resting her head on her hand. She looked at me and smiled, saying, "Today was a bit impulsive. I should have hired a truck driver to run all of them over. What do you think? Do you want to die with them?" I felt my hands trembling. I didn't even know why she hated Curie and them so much. I could only say, "Murder is illegal. Miss, why bother arguing with them? Can I apologize to you? Please don't be angry anymore. Today I was inconsiderate. You came to pick me up to go back to the Hopper family." I even dared to talk back. "Not following you." She stood up, walked around in front of me with great interest, lifted my chin and asked, "Apologize? What status do you have to apologize with? What do you have to apologize with? What do you eat, wear, or use that isn't from the Hopper family?" She bent down, placed her hand on my shoulder, whispering into my ear, "You still have this body. If you agree, then this matter can be overlooked." We went to Stanford for university, still living in her family's villa in San Francisco. She said she didn't like to be disturbed by servants. I was the only one in the entire villa, serving her daily life. When she was happy, she would tell me during a meal, "Sagan, come to my room tonight," just like an ancient emperor flipping a name tag. When she was in a bad mood, she was cold and wouldn't talk. I will forever not understand why she was always sullen. She was the darling of heaven. Everything could be easily achieved. She paid me $100 USD every month. So, I would serve with a smile. Her demands were many, not allowing me to associate with any other girl. The phone had to be ready for her to check at all times, to see if anyone new had been added. She even looked through the traces on my social media accounts, to see if I was behaving. Once, in order to complete a teacher's assignment, I added a girl as a friend. Hopper had just arrived in Paris at that time. I thought I would delete the person after finishing the assignment. University was really tough, often having to stay up late to finish readings, search for materials, and write reports. I had a slight cold that day. After discussing with everyone, it was already past 11 p.m. That girl drove me back to the gate of the house. Just happened to meet Hopper waiting at the gate. Her face was as cold as a plague god. My classmate even asked me if I needed to call the police. Asked me if I was experiencing domestic abuse. Hopper was truly enraged. When she was angry, she wouldn't hit people. She would only act according to her own rhythm in bed. Sometimes I thought she definitely wanted to suck me dry. I also thought she was mentally disturbed. She should be sent to a psychiatric hospital for evaluation. Finally, I had a high fever. She fed me medicine. While feeding me, she asked me, "Who treats you the best?" I said hoarsely that it was her. But my whole body felt like it had been run over by a car. She was even more frantic. Didn't sleep at dawn, pulled me up, said that she hurried back to organize a birthday celebration for me. Then she dragged me to dance, just spinning and spinning. She also spoon-fed me more than half a cake. It was so sweet that I never wanted to eat cake again in this lifetime. This was how she tormented others. Finally, she asked me, "Will you associate with other women again in the future?" I felt like my soul was drained. Only a body with a faint breath remained. I saw spots before my eyes. I hugged her and cried, saying never again, never again. Only then did she say, "I don't want to catch any dirty diseases." I took medicine continuously for 4 years. Sometimes I doubted whether I was infected with a disease. In the final year of university, Hopper told me to bring the textbook she had forgotten to school for her. After I left, her classmates asked her who I was. She smiled and said, "He is the male helper in my house." Honestly speaking, I felt that Hopper was a bad person beyond redemption. No matter what education she received, it had masked her with the veneer of a goddess. But in her bones, she still looked down on ordinary people like me. Thought we were just ants. We were oxen and horses who should earn money for her family or serve her. When graduating in the final year of university, she told me to pack my things and go with her. She implied that she had been making all sorts of investments these past few years. Not rushing home to inherit her throne after graduation, just wanting to play by herself for a while. What was I confirming? I had also graduated. I had a few million US dollars saved in my card. I was like a puppet on a string serving her all day. Whatever kind of person she liked, I had to become that kind of person. Wherever she wanted to go, I had to abandon my homework to go with her, waiting for her to be happy, then pulling all-nighters to do my homework. Did she really treat me as her servant? I suspected that if she continued like this, she would probably call me to polish her new groom's leather shoes during her wedding, or on her honeymoon, and occasionally show me a little favor. To hell with that pretentious young lady disease. To hell with Hopper. I gave her milk mixed with sleeping pills. While she was sound asleep, I took her phone, transferred all the money from one of her cards into the foreign exchange account I opened, then kissed her once, and ran away. These tens of millions of US dollars. Just consider it compensation for my emotional damage. I never want to serve this terrible person, Hopper, again in this lifetime. 5 years later, I returned to the country, settled in a small, inconspicuous town in a southern city. After simmering a delicious fresh chicken in the pot, I left the house. I went to the kindergarten gate downstairs. I noticed there were many luxury cars. I didn't know what was happening. There were many parents picking up their children. I heard a parent say, someone wanted to donate to the kindergarten. That's why there was such a grand display. The children in the school looked like small calves gradually growing stronger. Extremely adorable. The dismissal bell just rang. The children happily rushed out. A lively scene. In the crowd of children, I saw a little girl with a face similar to mine. I wasn't sure, until a familiar figure, holding the child, appeared as if being cheered by everyone. The principal and kindergarten teachers were warmly saying something to her. A flowing long dress wrapped around her wicked soul. She stood on the other side of the crowd, smiling triumphantly as she looked at me. And I couldn't move. Who else could the demon in front of me be but Hopper? I felt my whole body stiffen. I remembered that birthday. I was bedridden for a week before recovering. It was just before the winter break. I took my luggage and money and ran away. At least during the holiday. I didn't want to see her. On the third day I ran away. She came to the hotel I booked, confiscating all my money and cards. She said that if I dared to leave her again, she would make sure I was in a wheelchair forever. At that time, she gently coaxed me. This time I went too far. I couldn't control myself. But you are not entirely faultless either. Sagan, you promised me you wouldn't associate with other women. Why did you befriend that person? And even let that person drive you home? The logic always belonged to her. I dared not imagine how much more insane she would become. The principal and teachers' faces were about to bloom, saying that Hopper was an enthusiastic donor, saying that she wanted to send her child to study here. I stiffly looked at the little girl, suspecting the girl's face was extremely similar to mine. I couldn't move. At this moment, Hopper bent down, whispering into my ear, Mr. Sagan, the pet I raised before has run away. I haven't found it for years. What do you suggest I do? I felt like I was struck by lightning. Sure enough, she came to cause trouble. The little girl happily cried out, Daddy. She was pregnant and had given birth to a child. Behind them were a few men. They looked like bodyguards and secretaries. The principal was a perceptive person. Seeing that the little girl's face resembled mine, he asked me, Mr. Sagan, CEO Hopper is here to survey the area. She hasn't decided on a place to stay yet. I heard your house is quite large, and you two are old acquaintances. How about letting CEO Hopper stay at your place for a few days? Hopper smiled at me with an arrogant look. Then I'll trouble you, Mr. Sagan. I stiffly walked ahead. The little girl's soft hand grabbed mine and asked, Daddy. Mommy said Daddy was naughty and ran away. Why did Daddy run away? Doesn't Daddy like Ada? I said, Daddy didn't know Ada existed. My heart was extremely tangled. I didn't like Hopper, but she gave birth to my child. This child was visibly my flesh and blood. It was truly a miracle. The moment I saw the little girl, my heart softened. What should I say? Ada is still very young. She is a child. She lacks a father's love. Should I tell her about the complicated affairs of adults? Should I tell her that I don't like her mother? So I had to leave? What would she think of her own origin then? I crouched down and looked at the little girl, seriously saying, Daddy didn't run away. Daddy just got lost. Now Mommy has led Ada to find Daddy. Daddy won't leave anymore. Daddy will be here to watch Ada grow up. Ada cheered, saying, Ada is very happy. Hopper led the others, temporarily staying at other native houses in the Palm Springs. When we got home, I asked Hopper, "Ms. Hopper, do you want to eat?" She looked at my house up and down. "Sure." Ada was playing in the yard. When I went into the kitchen, she followed, pressing close to my back. She said, "Didn't you used to call me, Miss? Why are you calling me, Ms. Hopper, now? It's a bit distant. I don't like it." I tried to keep a distance from her, pleading, "What exactly do you want? It's just that the pet you raised ran away. I came to see how he was living." "Oh, before leaving, didn't you also steal my money?" She patted my shoulder, "But I won't hold that against you." Ada, drenched in sweat, ran in. "Mommy, I'm thirsty." I quickly poured warm water for Ada. At the dining table, Ada and I chatted. I asked her how she was doing in kindergarten, who her best friend was, what she usually liked to play. Ada happily answered while eating her meal heartily. She was also happy to tell Hopper to show me her phone. Pictures of the child receiving awards and performance videos. Ada finally said, "Daddy, I'm a good girl. Daddy should obediently come home with Mommy and me. Our family has to be together." In the Palm Springs, everyone was an acquaintance. Many people opened homestays to earn money from tourists. But this place was too secluded. You had to change vehicles a few times after getting off the bullet train to reach it. It was completely deep in the mountains, so tourists were very few. Hopper could find this place. I completely couldn't escape. Ada finished eating, immediately grabbed her toys and ran outside, playing with the children in the yard. I cleared the dishes, said to Hopper, "Let's talk. What exactly do you want to do? I took your money that year. I can pay you back. I haven't touched that money. If paying back the money could stop her from bothering my life anymore, I was willing to pay her back. As for the child, I will fulfill my responsibility as a father." She lazily sat on the sofa, patting next to her. She used to do this gesture often. It meant telling me to sit over there. Although I didn't like Hopper, but every time she wanted to seduce me, I had no strength to resist. I took a step back, slightly resisting. "I won't be with you anymore. I don't like you. I also don't want to continue that relationship anymore." "Are you in love with someone else then?" "Who? Tell me, let me hear it." She still maintained a calm expression. I shook my head in panic. "There's no one else." Outside came the loud laughter of the children. We looked out the window together. The children were playing marbles. I didn't know when she came beside me. Her hand was placed on my waist. "The child is very adorable. Does she also have a part of you?" Her voice carried a seductive tone. "I will sue you, accuse you of abandonment, throw you in jail. You have no objections, right?" My hand, which was pushing her away, paused. "What exactly do you want?" She said with a serious face, "I've thought a lot these past few years. Why did my little pet run away? Was I not good enough to you? She raised me like a pet, tormented me so I could provide her with emotional value. But she gave me money. It was a mutually beneficial arrangement. I don't want to be like this forever. Miss, I also have my own life. It's not like I sold my body to you. You treated me very well, gave me money, and allowed me to receive a good education. I originally wanted to speak against my conscience, saying, you usually treated me very well too. But thinking of her control and suffocation, I swallowed my words. But I don't want to continue working beside you anymore. Miss, I think I'm not handsome, and I'm also dull. Why don't you find someone else to be your husband? Your daughter likes him, and he's willing to play with him." She pushed me against the wall, one hand propped against the wall, blocking my way, raised an eyebrow. "So we've been together for more than 4 years. Do you consider it temporary employment? And you never loved me at all, did you? Going to bed with you was work. Don't you know prostitution is illegal?" I countered her. "Didn't you also treat me as a male helper? A pet? Anyway, I didn't sell my body. Now I quit." She stood still, unmoving, and said angrily, "I haven't said stop the game. What right do you have to ask to stop? Also, let me tell you, something that I have set my eyes on. Even if it dies, or rots, it must stay by my side." After speaking, she was about to kiss me. I hated her so much that I bit her. Her mouth was covered in blood. She looked at me and smiled, looking very happy, saying, "Save your strength. I still have plenty of time to play with you." Hopper found my grandmother, and immediately made a video call. My grandmother kept asking me why I suddenly disappeared for so many years. She also said they were very worried, Said they had been looking for me for a long time, afraid something had happened to me. I glumly apologized. Hopper took the phone, holding Ada in her arms. Said to the person on the other end of the video, "Ada has recognized her father." She added, "Don't worry. He won't be bullied by others." Everyone was surprised, told us to go back immediately. Otherwise, they would come right now. I felt that Hopper was going insane. Why would she want to make a big deal out of it? When going to sleep at night, Ada kept demanding to sleep with me. "Daddy, don't you like mommy? Are you afraid of mommy?" I stroked her face, not saying anything. "Then why don't you live with us?" I hugged the little girl, sighing, because of the pressure from the adults, as well as the inescapable situation under Hopper's watch. I packed my luggage, followed Hopper onto the helicopter. Ada was constantly curious, asking all sorts of questions. Hopper played the role of a good mother throughout the trip, with infinite patience, knowing everything. When Ada fell asleep, she said contemptuously to me, "Look at you. You ran away for so many years. Do I have to be bothered by this small human being all by myself?" I completely ignored her. When we arrived at the Hopper family house in Washington, D.C., a crowd of people was waiting to welcome us. My grandmother pulled me aside and told me Hopper had told them everything about us. Hopper told everyone that we fell in love while in college, but she was busy with her career, with no time to be with me, so I thought she didn't love me. That's why I ran away without permission. She truly was good at gilding her own image. My grandmother told me not to throw a tantrum anymore. We already had a child. The Hopper family accepted me as Ada's father, so she told me to come back. My grandmother might be related to me by blood, but she was loyal to Oppenheimer. She had always lived in the Hopper family home. Even though I was her biological grandson, she would not necessarily side with me. Ada couldn't resist and fell asleep. The servant wanted to carry her back to her room upstairs. I said, "Let me carry her." I quickly picked Ada up in my arms. Although I knew it was futile, I still couldn't help but try a little. Everyone started sitting down to talk. Oppenheimer said, "Since you already have a child, Ada is so smart and adorable. She cannot live in a broken family. You two should get married soon." Hopper's father said, "You two are too reckless. You already have a child. Hurry up and organize the wedding. Don't make it too grand. It's embarrassing." Hopper's mother said, "Everything should still respect the young people's opinions." "Little Sagan, what do you think?" I took a deep breath. Hopper was staring at me full of warning. I lowered my eyes and said, "I don't like Hopper. I won't marry her. She doesn't like me either. I'm not happy being next to her even for a moment. As for Ada, we can co-parent her. I am willing to live in Stanford. I can take care of Ada full-time. When everyone misses Ada, I will bring her back to visit. If everyone has any education plans for her, I can also cooperate." The atmosphere then became cold. They said this matter could be discussed long-term. They told me to bring Ada to stay first. I originally wanted to go to a hotel, but I really didn't dare to say any more dissenting words. I could only take Ada to the guest room on the second floor. Before, when I lived at the Hopper family house, I always stayed in the servants' room on the first floor. During dinner in the evening, Ada again became the focus of everyone. The little girl chattered about how she and Hopper found me in the Palm Springs. Told stories about being praised by her teacher. Told stories about her best friend. After finishing the meal, the little girl was led away to play with toys and games. Hopper immediately dragged me upstairs. "Very capable, aren't you?" She smiled mockingly. "You even dared to refuse to marry me. Do you think because there are a few old people here, I wouldn't dare to do anything to you?" I lowered my head and said nothing. She pinched my chin. "You mute, weren't you very eloquent this afternoon?" I turned my head away and said, "No matter what you do. I am not a servant of your family now. I will not sell my body to you either. You simply cannot force me. We are Ada's parents. I also don't want to ruin our relationship, affecting Ada, so we can become strangers who speak little." She laughed, as if I had just told a big joke, laughing until her chest shook. Then she burst out laughing. I suspected she was mentally ill. Hopper left the Hopper family house. Not knowing where she went, I stayed to look after Ada. I said I wanted to move out. Everyone immediately advised me, "You don't like Hopper. She must have done something to make you unhappy. You don't have to be with her. But you and Ada live on the estate in Washington, D.C. Everyone can take care of each other. You won't be lonely, with no one to help you. Isn't that very good?" My grandmother then said she was old. She wouldn't live much longer. She didn't want to be separated from Oppenheimer. And she didn't want me to leave her either. Hopper did not appear again. Ada really liked me. She wanted to stick by me every day. Below the estate villa was a small villa area. Oppenheimer gifted me one, saying that if I didn't want to see Hopper, I could wait for her to return and then move down the hill myself. Hopper disappeared for 2 months. The reunion was in winter. Oppenheimer and everyone else were talking about taking a vacation down south. In the evening, I finished packing, gave Ada her milk and held her until she fell asleep. When I woke up, I was in a completely unfamiliar room. Outside the bed I was sleeping in was a gold cage, and my ankles were chained with iron shackles. Hopper was sitting on the balcony, leisurely flipping through a magazine. Outside the balcony was an endless desolate field. Hopper had kidnapped me, but she took my phone, fabricating a story that I wasn't going on vacation. I stared at her. "You are breaking the law." She kissed me once, then said carelessly, "Then go call the police." She smiled, offering me the phone. Just as I was about to grab it, she threw it. The phone shattered into pieces against the wall. "My little pet doesn't like me. Then we will cultivate our feelings here. When you like me, I will release you," she said with interest. I was thinking why you don't like me. Maybe it's because I didn't nurture you properly. So, I decided to start nurturing you from today. Her so-called nurturing was taking care of me like a disabled person, spoon-feeding me, bathing me. Initially I slapped her. She touched my calf, gently saying, "How about not wasting your energy anymore? I'll just chop off your legs, so you don't keep getting more disobedient." I could only apologize to her, saying that I wouldn't dare again. We stayed in the villa for 3 days. Ada wanted to video call me. Every time Hopper could smooth things over. She said I had a severe cold, very uncomfortable, and was sleeping. Hanging up the phone, Hopper asked me, "If I said you died in a car accident, who do you think would care whether it was real or fake?" Her implication was, she could blatantly confine me for the rest of my life. I submitted to this lunatic. I could only appease her, admitted that I was wrong, said that I liked her. She wanted me to prove it. Every day I saw her, I had to say, "I love you." I also had to kiss her. It was disgusting. Why couldn't she be a normal human being? Hopper finally took pity on me and drove me back. She said if I was disobedient again, next time she would lock me up until I died. This time she said we had reconciled, and we must hold the wedding. The wedding would take place in the spring. We registered our marriage first. I couldn't imagine it. I actually married the person I hated the most in this world. And I would have to live with her in the future. But sometimes I thought, I had already lived this kind of life for several years before. At least I wouldn't die. Hopper wanted to move me out of the old house, because the old house was a bit far from where she worked. This plan failed, because Oppenheimer and everyone else didn't want Ada to leave, and I couldn't leave Ada. Ada's kindergarten organized a trip for the children across the country. Hopper had to fly abroad to negotiate a project. Before leaving, she kissed me and asked, "Sagan, you won't run again, will you?" I swore and guaranteed, "I absolutely won't run again. Really, believe me." She chuckled and said, "If you run, I will feed Ada to the dogs. If you also steal Ada, I don't need to look for you. My parents will probably bring out all the Siberian tigers to console them." She touched her stomach again. Why haven't I gotten pregnant yet? She fundamentally didn't like children. She wanted a few more to threaten me. While traveling with Ada, I planned to run away countless times. But it was very difficult to implement. There were surveillance cameras everywhere. If I disappeared for a moment, the teachers would look for me. There were more security guards following than children. Moreover, a person like Hopper couldn't be unguarded against. I also couldn't let Ada live a life of hiding and sneaking around with me. I looked at Ada's slightly sweaty but excited face, sighed helplessly. The little girl was my armor. She was also my weakness. When Ada and I were resting in the hotel, I asked her, "Ada, do you like mommy?" Ada was playing with building blocks, not raising her head. Ada likes mommy, and also likes daddy. But Ada likes daddy more, because mommy is busy and doesn't play games with Ada. Mommy is often impatient. Daddy is patient. Daddy plays games with Ada, but daddy doesn't like mommy. How? How do you know daddy doesn't like mommy? Daddy isn't as happy as he was when we were in the Palm Springs. Also, daddy looks at mommy's face every day. When mommy comes home, Daddy wishes he could stay out of the room. Daddy would rather sleep with Ada than sleep with Mommy. Because your mom is a pervert. Who would be happy next to a pervert? I said, that's not true. Daddy likes your mom very much. Really? The little girl scrutinized me. She even moved her face close to mine, wanting to push up my eyes to see clearly. I burst out laughing at her innocence. She also narrowed her eyes and laughed. Then she drew a conclusion. Daddy is happy when he's with Ada. Not happy when he's with Mommy. I looked at her face, which resembled mine. I could only say, Ada, wait until you grow up. I wanted to say wait until she grows up. Daddy won't be with your mother anymore. But where could I run away to? I could imagine if I disappeared, Ada would also look for me, worrying about me. Ada looked at me, waiting for me to finish my sentence. I said, wait until you grow up. You must find someone who loves you to be with. That's the only way to be happy. She asked me, Daddy, are you happy then? Watching Ada grow up happily is my happiness. The untold story, the saga of Hopper and Sagan. Hopper was a villain, but everyone wanted her to be a goddess. She was only her most genuine self in front of Sagan. Wicked, wanting to bully him, but that beggar dared to disregard her. Wasn't he her possession? He even took a salary from her family, yet he dared not to work. Furthermore, what was the meaning of him avoiding her like the plague? Once she dreamed that he became her boyfriend. The beggar said he wanted to take the university entrance exam. She felt contempt. If he wanted to get lost, he should do it soon. She certainly didn't care to be with him. But she became more and more annoyed, especially when she saw him at the school gate, smiling radiantly, gently towards that girl. She truly wanted to drive a car and run both of them over. He dared to smile at someone else. She realized she was crazy. She even developed a sense of possessiveness and exclusion towards a beggar. She thought she must hate him too much. That's why she had this illusion. What was so good about that beggar? He was far from her ideal boyfriend. She started hanging out with friends every day, diverting her attention, but she couldn't control herself. She often went to his school gate to check, to see which girl he was dating. She wasted 2 months. That beggar charmed her in her dreams every day. Well, fine, she had to figure out a way to bring him back. She directly took advantage of the opportunity when her family disciplined her that time. She even threw away his phone, to see how he could contact the outside woman. He still followed behind her like a shadow. Before, she wouldn't have any feelings for him. On the contrary, she found him troublesome and in the way. But this time she always couldn't help but look at him. But every time she looked, she got angry. He always kept a distance from her. Even in the car, he always leaned close to the window, as if she were a flood or a savage beast. She was the young lady, the master. She certainly didn't care to cling to this beggar. He still tormented her in her dreams. She was used to it. Sometimes she even hoped the dream could be a little longer, not waking up, to avoid seeing that cold face in real life, making herself furious. The high school years passed very quickly, as if they passed while he quietly followed behind her, as if they passed while they sat at the table together, eating countless breakfasts, as if they passed while he sat in the car, always turning his face to look at the scenery outside the window, secretly slipping away. He had no friends. At most, he watched TV dramas. Then he smiled innocently at the TV. She went to her aunt's place in Miami for a vacation. When she returned home, she found he wasn't there. Her grandmother said he bought a new phone and went out with friends. She immediately remembered the scene of him at the school gate, smiling at a girl. That girl looked at him intently, full of tenderness. She drove to his old school. Very quickly she saw him on that snack street, sitting by the dirty roadside, showing a bright smile that he never gave her. She suppressed her anger and told him to go back. He was slightly afraid of her but still refused. Who was he putting on a show for? Don't think she forgot. He was just treating her as a joke, to tell these future workhorses about. He cried and begged her to go easy on him. Her heart was contemptuous. She thought he would show some backbone and tell her to apologize. But remembering the feeling of him hugging her from behind, she stood at the door of the room, glanced at him meaningfully. The skinny guy has grown up now, still has no backbone, and he's stupid and easy to deceive. She told him to call her name or call her wife. He absolutely refused. Every day he called her Miss. Was she sick? Because of this title, she didn't know how many people ridiculed her. Her investment career was successful, with profits multiplying. He was always by her side. Weren't the two of them a couple living together? The time he brought homework to her. Just then, a male student asked him out for a drink after school. Between men and women, there was only a relationship of being able to sleep together or not. As a result, she came, heard this conversation, retorted, "So miss, you're not coming home for dinner tonight?" Her expression was calm, without any fluctuation. He truly was a loyal servant. She ground her teeth with hatred. Those friends didn't understand Chinese. Seeing a male student come to find him, acting intimately, they asked her what their relationship was. She said he was the male helper in her house. The male helper she gave $100 USD spending money to every month. Damn it, the male helper gave her sleeping pills, took the money from her card and ran away. Initially, she almost went crazy. She originally wanted to develop her career abroad first, checked and saw that he had a record of returning to the country, and she immediately chased after him. His figure disappeared into the crowd in San Francisco. Perhaps he was disguised, perhaps he didn't use his real identity information. He only withdrew money once after returning home. There were no phone calls or text messages. There were no social security records. He avoided all traceable traces online. Was this a deliberate calculation that she would go looking for him? Everyone thought she was crazy. Initially, her family even arranged blind dates for her. They wanted to divert her attention, so she wouldn't go crazy anymore. But she didn't give up, searching everywhere on land, sea, and air. Then she pondered for a long time. Why did he return to the country but not get a job? As long as he got a job, his social security records would definitely be traceable. Could it be that he found a job that didn't provide social security? Furthermore, he wasn't a greedy person. She had given him a lot of money over the years. She also gave him many gifts. He didn't take the watch, or the electronics. He didn't even take the clothes. He only took the documents. So why did he transfer such a large sum of money? If he didn't need it, someone else did. She even investigated his few high school friends. She was 100% sure that he had no contact with them. Heaven rewards those who try. She finally found him, Sagan. He really knew how to hide from her. Normally, he only used a fake ID card to travel around. The man who had been with her for many years said he didn't love her. Said he didn't like her. Said he wasn't happy being with her. So why didn't he say so earlier? He kept everything inside. Anyway, he was always the one to find others' faults first. Who told him to appear in her life? Who told him to deliberately enter her room and smile at her? Anyway, she had seen him. He was hers. Even if he wasn't happy, he had to stay with her. Hopper returned home as dusk was falling. When she parked her car, she heard Ada and a few dogs rushing madly into the house. The tutor came out to meet her, politely greeting her, reporting on Ada's learning situation. Nothing worth listening to. All were hobby classes. All were about playing. The married life she imagined should be her coming home, her husband waiting at the door, gently asking about her, then attentively asking her how her day was. But she didn't see Sagan. She went to the children's room to check. Sure enough, he was focused on writing homework. What's the point of studying after getting married? She secretly curled her lip in disdain, but her mouth still said, "Honey, take a break, relax your eyes." Ada called out to her once, then started clinging to her desperately, demanding her to read comic books, demanding her to tell stories, demanding her 10,000 whys, demanding her to tell her how many ants she saw today. Don't think she didn't know. This husband of hers didn't want to spend time with her much. So this precious daughter would come to divert her attention. What deep mother-daughter affection. Sagan put down his book. With superb acting skills, he played the scene of loving her in front of their daughter. Ada's face looked a bit confused. Immediately after, the dogs she raised attracted the little girl's attention. A child and two dogs played happily in the play area. Hopper was not as cautious as Sagan. She directly asked Ada, "Why are you unhappy lately?" Sagan glared at her, meaning how should the child answer this question? Ada's expression did not change. "I just don't want to smile. I want to be a cold child." Hopper didn't ask why. Ada replied, "Because smiling feels very strange. Smiling is very tiring." After speaking, the little girl went into the house by herself, leaving the two adults confused and pensive. Sagan applied for a university lecturer job. Hopper disagreed. Sagan said, "I don't care whether you agree or not." Hopper didn't let him go out. She locked the door. Sagan sat angrily in the living room. Hopper coaxed him. "What's the meaning of being a teacher? If both of us go to work, who will take care of the children? My work is already busy. I finally have some free time. And you're not at home. Ada came downstairs asking what they were doing. Hopper called all 3 children over, persuading Sagan not to go to work. She thought with the reputation of the 3 children, they would definitely side with her. Moreover, she controlled their pocket money. Her children couldn't be so inconsiderate. But Ada looked at her mother with disapproval. Mommy is too selfish. Daddy can do whatever he wants. What right does mommy have to interfere with daddy? Hopper was stabbed by her eldest daughter. The younger daughter softly hugged Sagan and said, "Daddy, go. Don't need mommy anymore. Mommy is a bad person." The second son, next to a golden retriever named Newton and a husky named Einstein, innocently asked, "Daddy, I support you going to work. Can I bring Newton and Einstein to school? They will miss me if they stay home." Sagan glanced proudly at Hopper. Hopper realized that when the children were small, she could use them to keep Sagan from running away. But the children grew up. These troublesome kids, they started to uniformly treat her as an outsider, only claiming Sagan. She couldn't be abandoned by her whole family. So, she only said, "Sigh, I was just joking. Of course, my husband can do whatever he wants." Hopper started running to Sagan's university. Then she pretended to be nice, inviting his students to dinner, secretly showing off their affection. To see which inconsiderate one had designs on her husband, it was best to nip it in the bud. When they were 50 years old, Ada was heartbroken. Sagan comforted her that she would meet someone better in the future. Hopper told her, "Why do you care if he likes you? If you like someone, isn't it enough to just go and get them?" Sagan pinched her, "Don't corrupt the kids." Hopper still thought the same way. The person she liked, the person she set her eyes on, keeping them by her side was the only way to feel secure. Does love or not love matter? Love will disappear, love will fade, but her power and money will not. Is Sagan unhappy being by her side? His face is rosy all day long, calm and happy, constantly busy, but his life when he first came to her was not much different. Life is about looking at the big picture. He had gained a lot of things. Enduring Hopper's perverse and psychotic possessiveness had become familiar to him. The sun outside was just right. The once shy, pathetic figure, following behind the young lady. He was almost old now, without knowing when it happened. Sagan said to Hopper, "All right then, let's go on our honeymoon."